Hi everyone, it's Cass. Welcome back to my channel, What Cass Read. A couple of months ago, I did the highest rated books on my TBR. That was a really fun video for me to film. So today I wanted to see what the lowest rated books on my TBR were. Now we know that all of these rating systems and the Goodreads rating system is kind of imperfect, but I did want to see what they were. These are all books that I have on my physical TBR, so these aren't counting some of the books that I don't own. All of these had below 20,000 ratings per book, which was interesting to me. And so that's again where it's like, we can take this with a grain of salt. If you see your favorite book here, I don't think it's because people hate it. Then let's do a better job promoting our favorite books and seeing if we can't get that rating a little bit higher. But this was just something interesting I wanted to take a look at, and let's get started. So the first book on this list, this is Furyborn, written by Clare Legrand. I was actually really surprised to see this book on this lowest rated list, but when I start picking 10 books, the ratings actually got pretty high. So this one was 3.85 out of 9,064 ratings. That just to me tells me that A, not enough people are picking up this book, and it's so close to a 4-star read. I feel like this is a book that's like teetering on the edge of a 3-star and a 4-star read. So this was an interesting one for me to find on this list. This is one of the books that I do want to get to this year. So this book is written in like 2 different timelines. There's a timeline in the past and then a timeline like thousands of years in the future. And what's interesting to me is when we see the events happen in the future, we know that there were some events in the past that caused things to be this way, so you kind of get to see how the story evolves from there. It does follow 2 young women protagonists, and again, I just want to get to this, see what it's about, and hopefully I'll have a higher rating to give to it than a 3.85. This book, this is A Natural History of Dragons, written by Brennan, and this one has a 3.83 rating out of 17,784 ratings. So to be honest, this one doesn't surprise me that it's on this list, even though it has a large number of ratings. The people that I've seen who have talked about this book do put it in this like middle range of fantasy books. This is the first book of the Lady Trent series, and it is something that I do want to get to as well. It's like a Victorian era alternate history. This young woman scientist documents her life and trying to study dragons. So it's less of like a dragon tale, where I'm reading Dragon Keeper by Robin Hobb, finally, super excited, and it's less of a dragon tale like the TBR series, where the dragons are interacting with her. That's not the case. She's definitely a scientist studying these different species, and this is her memoirs and her notes about it. So I have heard that this book has read a little bit dry, but some people also really enjoy just her language, and so I want to see where I fall on this one. This is A Natural History of Dragons. Okay, my next book on this list, this is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter, written by Theodora Goss. And again, to be honest, not so surprised to see this one on the list. This has a 3.80 rating out of 8,320 ratings. I picked this one up as a book outlet find, and it's because, what was it, the European Travel something of the Monstrous Gentlewoman just came out, which was the sequel to this book. So that one looked really cute and interesting, and this is the first book that led to that. So I just ended up picking this one up because I was like, that one also does look kind of fun. It's just like the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, but with women, and it just sounded like a really fun time. So that's why I picked this one up. I couldn't tell you that much about it. This book, this is The Halfdrowned King, written by Linnea Hartsuyker. This is a first book in a series that she does have out. So I did end up stumbling across like the second and the third book in the series because the covers were all kind of similar. This is a Viking Norse fantasy, historical fantasy. What I found interesting was like a lot of people really liked this one, and then when I saw the reviews from the second and the third book, it was like not as high. Did I tell you the rating on this one yet? This one was a 3.77 rating out of 2,137 ratings. So this is one of those books that tells me that not a lot of people have picked it up, it being under 5,000 ratings, and then a 3.77 is again really close to a 4. So these like aren't bad ratings, to be honest. Okay, so I hear a lot of like mixed feelings about this one. This is Queen of Fire, written by Anthony Bryan. This is book number 3 of the Raven Song Trilogy, is that what it's called? A Raven's Shadow novel, my apologies. This one has a 3.67 rating out of 18,106 ratings. So this is a unique one on this list because this is the only one on this list that's like the third book of a series. When I talked about my haul with this book, Bloodsong being the first one, Tower Lord, and then this one, there were a few people who commented on that video saying that Bloodsong was the best one out of all of them, and then it kind of tapers off. So it doesn't surprise me to see this one on this list with a 3.67 rating. The other two weren't even close to this list, so again, that tells me that a lot of people who continued this series rated it lower than the first parts of the one. So this one is like, again, it's like really subjective. Okay, this one makes me kind of sad to see this low on the list, or I guess this high if we're going into the lowest rated. This is The Vagrant, written by Peter Newman. This has a 3.65 out of 5,406 ratings. This makes me sad because this one sounds like really different and really cool. Basically, we have a main character who's like this mysterious main character, and he is trying to bring a baby across the kingdom. I don't know anything about this baby, but what is really interesting about this guy, the Vagrant, is that he is silent. So we have a main character who's completely silent. Is it because he's silent that people like aren't totally digging the writing style? That we don't get a lot of feedback from this guy? I don't know. There's a few books in this series. I've seen them. They're on my Amazon wish list, so it does continue. But this one, it looks like it's like a solidly middle read, but I'm still really intrigued by this one. So this is The Vagrant, written by Peter Newman. This is another one that surprised me to see it on this list, but also not surprised, but bummed that it's on this list. And this is one of them that I think that if you like this book, because I've gotten recommendations for this book, then we need to do a better job of like promoting how much we love this book. So this is The Sisters of the Winter Wood, written by Rena Rossner. This was recommended to me because I was just raving and going on about The Bear and the Nightingale. This one has a 3.60 rating out of 1,659 ratings. So there's so low people who have actually rated this book. So not that many people have read it. It came out toward the end of last year, and I just think it needs a little bit more buzz, a little bit more push. This one tells about sisters in the Ukrainian wood, but it does have that Eastern folklore vibe. And so if you were interested in this kind of story, I think pick it up, because 1,600 people who have read it, and to me, that's not enough. I want to give this one a try too. Okay, The Queens of Innis, Lear, written by Tessa Gratton. This is a retelling of Shakespeare's King Lear, but from the daughters' perspectives. This one has a 3.59 rating out of 1,497 ratings, so not that many people have read it. I ordered this one on Book Outlet as well. So I'm just really interested to see what people think about this one. I know Sam from Thoughts on Tomes recently read this one because she was doing like a book vlog, or maybe I was following her Instagram stories, I'm not sure, but she read this one and she said this one was dense. Maybe that could attribute to the lower rating, but I still have it on my shelf, still interested in this one, so this is The Queens of Innis, Lear. This book might bum some people out that it's on this list. This is The Star-Touched Queen, written by Roshani Chokshi. This has a 3.57 out of 18,547 ratings. It's this Middle Eastern-inspired fantasy world. I did also hear that this was very much based off of, oh, what are they called? Oh my gosh. Hades and Persephone. Whoo! It's a little bit of a Hades and Persephone based book. So I did pick this up a long time ago. I just haven't gotten around to reading it, but I also haven't gotten around, I didn't have the heart to unhaul it yet because I wanted to diversify a lot of my fantasy reads, and I just feel like I don't want to give up on an Own Voices fantasy novel. All right, on my TBR. Ooh, this one hurts me. These are the lowest rated books on my TBR. This hurts me. Okay, this is the Soldier Son Trilogy, written by Robin Hobb. The first book is called Shaman's Crossing. The second book is called Forest Mage. And the third book is called Renegade's Magic. These ones, I've just lumped them all together because they were literally like the top three lowest on mine. So the range of ratings is a 3.38 to a 3.48 out of 13,000 to 18,000 ratings for these three books in the trilogy. So this is Robin Hobb's other trilogy that is separate from the realm of the Elderlings. This is a society where if you are the second son, then you go off into like a magical soldier academy because you're not going to inherit anything, and it tells that story. So there's magic, and there's a magical school setting or a soldier school setting, and it still intrigues me. I have been told that this one isn't as good as The Realm of the Elderlings, but to be honest, I don't think anything is as good as The Realm of the Elderlings, so that's not a turnoff. But I do still want to read this. This doesn't shake me off of wanting to read Rob and Hobb. I really do want to see what this story is about. So this one isn't surprising to me that it was rated that low, so it seems to me that it's like a 3.5-ish read for a lot of people, which is like firmly in the middle of a lot of things, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad one, but it doesn't seem like it's that highly praised either. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that list. I hope that was interesting for you. I really enjoyed filming my highest rated, so I just wanted to check out and see what my lowest rated books were. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Were you surprised by any of these picks? Were any of your favorites in the mix and you have to save your favorites? Just let me know what you think. Like I said, rating books is super subjective. We all know it's an imperfect system here on Goodreads. And for me, a 3 is like, I like the book. It's nothing super special, but I still enjoy it. So all of these are above a 3. So to me, none of them are really that bad. If you want, you can follow me on my social media. So that's going to be on Twitter and Instagram. It's at whatcassread. The same as this channel, spelt the same, all one word, super easy for you to find. And then my Goodreads link is always listed down below. And you know how these videos end. I'll talk to you later. Bye.